Good morning, welcome to the final day of Vlogtober. It is, well, this video is the 31st Vlogtober video. Today is actually the 30th of October that I'm recording this. I am doing my preparations for tomorrow today. So I have some food preparations to do for our Halloween meal, our Samhain meal. That we pretty much stick to the same things every year, and I also have some preparations to do for some kind of spiritual work for tomorrow as well also, and I have to get those things prepared today so I don't feel rushed tomorrow. For our meal on the 31st, we tend to have the same thing every year, like I've said, and I've probably filmed making some of it at least before. We will be having a roast butternut squash soup, homemade bread, and I will be making an apple pie as well. I guess sometimes it'll be slight variations, but that is the plan for tomorrow. I think before in the past I've done a third kind of course, like between soup and dessert. I've done something else, but we don't eat as much as we used to, and soup with pudding is more than enough for us. So that is the plan for tomorrow. What I might do is, when I'm scooping out the butternut squash, I might save back the seeds and roast them to go to sprinkle on the top of the soup, or I could even put some in the bread, on the bread. I think for sprinkling, for crunch on the soup. I think that's the plan. I think that is a plan. So yes, those are the things I'm planning to do today. I am wearing another one of my seasonally appropriate garments that I made. This is the Arachne sweater by Andy Satterland. Unfortunately, like far too many of either my favourite designers or favourite yarn dyers, she is no longer in business and no longer sells her designs, which is a real shame because I really like this one. Although I would definitely make changes now, because I did knit this a few years ago and I would put short row shaping in, and it is a short sleeved sweater purely because I didn't have enough yarn. If I had any more yarn, if this yarn left, I would probably pull out the neckline and do some short rows at the back and redo the bind off, and I would make the sleeves longer, probably full length sleeves to be honest. But this was just knit in a commercial sock yarn. Again, not what I would probably do now, because it does have, it's not rustic, but it hasn't got that softness that you get with the merinos and blueface leicesters that I'm used to wearing against my skin. So yeah, I would make those changes. I might make another one in future. I did see somebody who'd made a really nice burnt orange one, that's extremely Halloweeny, and the only issue being that you kind of, well, I would feel kind of limited on when I could wear it, whereas I could just wear this at any time of the year and it would just be kind of gothy rather than Halloween. So yes, my Arachne sweater. If you can hear some power tool noises, John is currently in the woodshed cutting up big long logs into fire size length logs that he brought back from his parents last week. Yes, so I'm going to, I've lost my train of thought. I'm going to get on and get sorted. Okay, so the recipe I do every year for my pumpkin / squash soup is this one. It is from, well, the dust cover isn't on this, but the Delia Smith's winter collection. I think the dust cover got so damaged one year, like years ago, that I just got rid of it. It is the, just try and get this angle right, it is roast pumpkin soup with melting cheese. I have adjusted it quite a bit over the years to suit our taste, and I don't use pumpkin, I use a butternut squash. So I'll use this whole butternut squash to make a nice big pan of soup. Obviously there will be leftover soup. So yeah, I will do this, and if I put cheese in, it'll be like a sprinkle of cheese at the end to serve with it, although to be honest I prefer without. And maybe I'll make some croutons as well to go with it, whilst the oven is on for the bread tomorrow. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to make a homemade bread like a caraway rye bread that I made a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, or, which I've done before, is making a soda bread and making like a cheesy soda bread, in which case you don't need cheese to go in this. Make like a cheesy soda bread or like cheese scones to go with this, which would be really nice too. I need to make the pastry for the apple pie, and then I can put that in the fridge. And I've just took out the apple pie filling that I made whilst John was away. I just put this in the freezer, so I'm going to tuck this out. I'll let it thaw for a little bit till the frost is kind of dried off on the container, and then I will shove that in the fridge for tomorrow, because there's a good chance if I wait till tomorrow I will forget to take it out the freezer. And I also need to prepare the toppings for the homemade pizza that I didn't make yesterday. I was just too tired to cook homemade pizza yesterday, and I just wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't really in the mood for pizza. I fancied potatoes instead, because potatoes, you know, you can never go wrong with potatoes, however you cook them. You know, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, as they say. But yes, so today I'm going to be doing that homemade pizza, so I need to prepare the toppings for that. So I did get an idea off Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful. She puts dollops of red onion chutney on her homemade pizza, and I thought that I could give that a try. So I dug out in my chutney cupboard and found a jar of homemade red onion marmalade. This is made in 2018. Believe me, I have chutneys a lot older than this in that cupboard, but it's perfectly fine. It's not gone bad, so I will be giving that a try, I think, and just put a few little dollops of homemade red onion marmalade or chutney on top of the pizza and see how that comes out, because it does sound rather tasty. And yeah, so I better get started. I've took the butter out the fridge for the pastry, and yep, food prep to start. Okay, it is late afternoon and I've had to put the overhead lights on here because it is really rather dull out there today, so apologies for the weird lighting. I had this plan to come on here and do this like really in-depth talk and demonstration of what I planned on doing tomorrow, and I had it all planned out and all figured out, and the more I thought about it, the more it felt a bit weird to talk about, a little too personal, a little too private maybe. So I'm going to give a kind of an overview instead. So Right, so my plan is, or kind of vaguely is, to make a an ancestral shrine altar setup. I do plan on making a more permanent setup eventually, which I'll talk about in a moment, but the plan is to make like an area or space, most likely on my desk, because I emitted on flat surfaces in here. Although I don't know, I could use my new deep windowsill. I'll have to think about that. And on it place items or photographs of family members who have passed on. Tomorrow is Halloween or Samhain, Day of the Dead, however you celebrate that sort of time of year, and that is part of what my plan is. And I will light candles and think about those members who've passed on and things like that. And it's a bit echoing here today as well. I also plan, like I said, I plan eventually to do a permanent setup for this, and I've been meaning to do that for quite some time. I have bought like a little wooden cabinet. It's like a pointed wooden cabinet that I got from the charity shop a while ago. It needs some work. It's now fallen apart, that it's been moved around and stuff, and needs like renovating. It's only quite small. It's probably 15 inches wide, probably about 24 inches tall, something like that. And I plan to hang that on the wall and place photographs and items in the cabinet, and probably a place to put a candle, tea light, nothing bigger, when it is open and such like. But for tomorrow I will use a surface that I'll put a cloth on and things like that. Tomorrow is also dark moon, the phase of the moon when it is at its darkest, its most invisible. So November 1st at around, well, it's just after 1:45 in the afternoon, Greenwich Mean Time, so Universal Standard Time. I think it's actually 12:47 Universal Standard Time, Greenwich Mean Time, on November 1st is actually the moment when it is the moment of new moon, when it starts to wax again. So the day before that, in this case Halloween, is actually the phase of dark moon, when it is at its absolute darkest. There is no more waning crescent visible, there is no waxing crescent visible, there is nothing. It is complete darkness, which is perfectly apt for Halloween. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since we actually had a full moon at Halloween, but you know, the years seem to go quite quickly. So it's perfect time during dark moon for doing things like divination, and also seems appropriate for Halloween in some ways as well, at the tail end of the year. I will do some sort of tarot reading tomorrow, and I haven't decided which set of cards to use just yet. I have the Green Witch Tarot, which I have been using for a couple of years now, and I really rather like those. I can't remember who they are illustrated by, but I will try and remember to put the name on the screen. I also have my Celtic Tarot that I have had for about 20 years now, and it was the first pack that I actually chose myself. And I know there's some controversy, if anything's got kind of witchy folks on here, and there's some controversy about buying your own tarot cards. I don't buy into that rubbish. You know, there's this tradition you should be bought. You shouldn't buy your own tarot cards, you should be presented with them as a gift and bought them. And my first tarot cards were a gift. My mum gifted me my first set of tarot cards when I was about 15, 16-ish. But the Celtic ones were the first one I bought for myself, and used them exclusively for a number of years. So I haven't quite decided on that yet. What else? I did mention about it being the tail end of the year. Depending upon what sort of spirituality kind of group you are in, as to what you consider is the beginning or end of the year and such like. So for example, let me try and remember this because I'm trying to remember. So for some traditions, the new year is at Yule. For other traditions, it is at Halloween. In my personal practice, I consider Halloween the end of the year, but that the new year doesn't really start until Yule at the solstice, the winter solstice. And this time between Halloween or Samhain and Yule is kind of a time of in-between time. It's not, it's a strange time of year, and I've always felt it's a bit of an odd time of year. And I don't know whether that's because of me being British, as opposed to, like, we don't have anything between Halloween and Christmas in the UK. We have bonfire night, we have Guy Fawkes Night, which is on the 5th of November, which I don't think anybody really knew about stateside until the movie V for Vendetta came out, and it is talked about, you know, remember the 5th of November and the gunpowder plot and such like. But in the UK it has always been quite a big traditional kind of a night, more so than Halloween. When I was a child, we kind of did Halloween, but it was small scale. You carved out Swedes, turnips if you're from the north, butterburgers if you're from America, but Swedes, and you'd carve them out and put a little candle in, and you never forget the smell of burning turnip, and you would, to frighten away evil spirits at Halloween. And as kids we would dress up, you know, with black bin liners on over the top of our clothes as a witch. That was dressing up when I was a kid. It was very, very basic. And you would go around trick-or-treating with your friends, never with adults, just friends, and you would get money from the people's doors that you went to. You didn't get sweets. Sweets were not a thing in the UK. That was, we had a friend who moved to the village when I was about, I don't know, 9 or 10, and she'd obviously lived in America for a time. I don't think her parents were American. I think she'd lived there for like a year or two. And when she went trick-or-treating, she had this little rhyme, which we didn't have rhymes, and it was to do with getting food. You know, give us, I think it was trick-or-treat, give us something nice to eat or something like that. And we thought she was weird because it wasn't a thing. You didn't get sweets from strangers. No. You didn't accept sweets from strangers. But strangers would give you pennies, you know, loose change and stuff like that, and you'd all put it all together, and at the end of the little trick-or-treat run you'd share it amongst you, and you'd go buy some sweets from the little village shop. So there kind of was Halloween, but bonfire night in some ways was bigger. So if you don't know about bonfire night, Guy Fawkes Night, it is on the 5th of November. It is kind of a remembrance, it's hard to explain whether it be celebratory or otherwise, of the gunpowder plot by Guy Fawkes and his little group, who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament on the 5th of November. They were thwarted in their attempt, but it is still kind of celebrated in the UK. So on bonfire night, obviously there are big bonfires, usually a big village bonfire or things like that, and fireworks are set off. And because we don't have like 4th of July fireworks, we have bonfire night fireworks. There are fireworks in all the stores at this time of the year for bonfire night. So there's big bonfire, fireworks, and I don't know if they still do it now, but certainly when I was a kid, there was a stuffed human. Not really. It was like, you know, you would make up a guy, what was called a guy, which was basically like a top and trousers and a sack for a head, and it was stuffed with straw and stuff like that, and it would go on top of the bonfire before the bonfire was lit. And this wasn't just when I was living in like the tiny villages up the dale and things like this. This is countrywide, so people would go around. I don't remember going around penny for the guy, but I know John speaks about it, where you would have the guy, what would go on the bonfire, put him in a wheelbarrow or whatever, and wheel him around the village, knocking on doors, asking for penny for the guy, kind of like for trick-or-treating. And the kids would get like pennies and money and stuff for the guy, and obviously shared amongst you and sweets and blah blah blah. But yes, the guy would go on the bonfire, and you set fire at the bonfire and the guy on the top. Well, it can be a little strange in the UK. Well, it's all traditions. I like all traditions. All traditions are fun, but they can, when you kind of look at it from an outside perspective, you start thinking, but this is a little weird, but it's very, very British. So yes, we have bonfire night. And it is still celebrated everywhere. There was a huge bonfire in Kirkwall, usually the closest Saturday, I think it's the closest Saturday to Guy Fawkes Night. And there's fireworks. It's quite controversial because it's a little too close to the little, what we call the PDC, which is like a little, how do you describe it? Like a little lake, like a man-made lake in the middle of the town, and there's usually swans and stuff on it. So there's a big controversy about the fact that it tends to be near that and there's fireworks and such like, but we're not going to get into that. So yeah, so that's kind of British bonfire night and this time of year traditions. So there is this kind of, as I was trying to say, there's this unusual time between Halloween and Christmas, where in the UK we have bonfire night at the beginning of November, but then there is nothing until Christmas. It's kind of like this crazy, chaotic, to me it's kind of a time of chaos and strangeness. I imagine it's very different, say in America, where you have another big holiday at the end of November. So the whole period of time between the end of October all the way through the end of December is just kind of one celebratory holiday after another, because you can't really call bonfire night a celebratory holiday. So it kind of feels like 2 months of holiday season, 2 months of celebration and feasting and family and stuff like that, and we don't really have that in the UK. We have this kind of weird time around Halloween bonfire night, which is all very, a little bit morbid and stuff like that, because it was never really cuteness as a kid, Halloween. It was a bit more raw. And then you have Christmas once you get to the end of December. So yes, I always think of this time of year as it's the end of the year, but not the beginning of the year yet. That was a bit rambly, and I do apologise for that. It's not really how I'd intended to wrap this year's Vlogtober up, but you can never really predict how the Vlogtober or Vlogmas period can go. So I'm going to say goodbye for Vlogtober this year. I hope it's been okay and you've enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed watching other people's Vlogtober videos, as I always do. And now that we're coming to the end and I'm not recording and editing and stuff, I will kind of catch up a bit more and be able to answer some more of the comments that I'm not caught up with yet, and catch up with some more Vlogtober videos through November, because we're not quite to festive Christmassy season just yet. So I'm going to sign off here. Wish you all a lovely, well, maybe lovely is not the right word, a great Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead, however you celebrate or don't celebrate this time of year. But I hope you have a nice next few days, however you like to spend them. Okay, and I will be back soon with another video. So until then, bye bye.